Hi, today we're going to talk about how to not be nervous before public speaking. And if that's too much of an impossibility, how to calm your nerves. We'll talk about how to calm your nerves before you speak in public. Hello, I'm Scott Wilhite. I'm the Record Yourself video coach. I help heart-centered people who want to grow their business and their impact do that through the power of internet video. If that's something that resonates with you, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this episode, make sure you ring the bell, and you'll be notified of more great shows. And also, you know what? If you have comments of other show topics that you want to hear about, will you comment down below? I'm sharing the things that I have learned on my journey, and I think it's things that you want, but just in case there are other things that, that topics that you want to have addressed, I want to help you with that. So today we're talking about public speaking. Talking about how to not be nervous when speaking in public. And okay, so I'm going to share with you 3 amazing tips that are going to help you when you're speaking in public. And before that, I just want to share with you my story. So my story was, so it was about 5 years ago, actually, that I went down to Las Vegas, and there was a conference. It was a personal development conference. And I remember driving there, and I was listening to this guy, and he was a speaker, and he was amazing. Then I got to this conference, and they had all these other personal development speakers, and they were incredible. And I felt this desire within me, just kind of this yearning, wanting to get out, wanting to be up there on stage and share the things that I had learned. and this didn't make sense to me because I wasn't that kind of guy. I consider myself shy, timid. I was a filmmaker, but I was the kind of filmmaker that was behind the camera and never in front. The idea of being in front of the camera, being in front of the stage, terrified me. But I had this feeling I couldn't get rid of, and it was this feeling that I had a message to share, that I had value to give to this world. I had a contribution to make, and I didn't know what to do about it. Well, I go to this conference, and I'm hearing all these amazing speakers, and in my mind is this thought, that's going to be you someday. You're going to be up there, you're going to be speaking, you're going to be sharing your message. And it terrified me. So I remember I brought with me 3 jackets, 3 sport coats, and I was so nervous. This is in December in Las Vegas. And, although it's Las Vegas, which is normally hot in December, it wasn't. It was really cold outside. But I was so nervous. I sweat through my shirts. Like an undershirt, I sweat through my outer shirt. I sweated through my jackets. All 3 of them. They had these big stains. And before other people would come on to speak, they did these kind of crazy rah-rah things where everybody be jumping around. And there was no way I could jump around because it would reveal Niagara Falls here that I had, because I was so nervous about just the idea of being up there on stage. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even going to be on stage. I was just a member of the audience, but just thinking about the possibility terrified me. Well, now you fast forward, look at this, no sweat stains. I'm able to share my message. I'm able to share the things in my heart. You know what? Honestly, I'm able to achieve a great amount of peace because I'm sharing the things that mean the most to me. And I'm able to do that because of this power of recorded video. And what I mean by this is we have right now, in the most amazing time of our world's history, the ability to broadcast our messages, to broadcast our hearts, to make an impact with other people through the power of the internet, and specifically through the power of recorded video on the internet. You have that power. You have this opportunity. And I got to tell you, if you are a heart-centered person, I hope you do it. I hope you stand up. I hope you share your voice. I hope you share your message and make the impact, make the difference in the world that I know you can make. So again, if this show is something that you like it, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring the bell. So now let's talk about those 3 tips that I have for you. Again, going from Niagara Falls to where I can speak confidently and comfortably, these three tips work. Okay, so the first tip is to practice, to record yourself, to just start doing it. Now, the great thing about recording yourself is, first of all, you get to see yourself again. And I know that hearing your own voice, it's like fingernails on the chalkboard, and you're like, that's not how I sound, and you get all self-conscious about it. I totally get it. I know where you are. But once you start recording yourself, once you start practicing, what you're going to find is that's going to numb you a little bit. It's going to numb those nerves that you feel are exposed, that just the idea of being on camera, the idea of being on stage terrifies you. It's going to numb those feelings in a way that you kind of desensitize yourself from feeling so self-conscious about that. So just start. That's the tip. Just start. Record yourself right now. Start sharing your message. Start sharing your thoughts and your ideas. You could just use your phone. You can use whatever recording device is available to you, but just start recording. And I will tell you, next step on that, so tip 1B is to then start broadcasting it. Start sharing it with others. You probably won't have a ton of people watching it, and that's okay. But you're going to start to get over yourself. You're going to start to be able to share your message with others and feel like your life has purpose, feel like your life has meaning, that you're making a contribution, and you're going to start to numb those feelings, that anxiety of being on camera, being on stage, and it's just through the practice. Okay, so just start recording, start broadcasting it with that. Tip number 2 is I want you to turn the spotlight on your audience. So often we get caught up in these feelings because we're thinking about ourselves. We're so self-conscious about how we look and how we sound that we're not thinking about those that we're serving. So if you could turn the spotlight from off of you where you're just super bright, you can see the sun came out quite a bit right here. I'm a little overexposed, but that's because the light's on me, right? But if I could turn that around and I'm thinking about those people that I'm serving, I'm thinking about those people that have that message in their heart and they just haven't got the courage to record themselves or to broadcast their message or to get that out there. And I know their pain. I know the frustrations that they're feeling. And so as I think about them, I'm able to serve them in a much better way. I'm speaking more empathetically, because I'm recognizing the feelings that they're feeling instead of the feelings of nervousness that I'm feeling, right? Is that making sense to you? So tip number 2 is to turn the spotlight on your audience. Okay, tip number 3, and you're not going to like this, but it is a tip that totally helps you get over that fear. So the biggest thing that is keeping you from living the life that you really want to live, where you're able to share your message, you're able to make your contribution, the biggest thing is fear that's keeping you from that. So, okay, I know you're going to hate this. I'm just going to say it. Cold showers. Okay, now I know it sounds crazy. I was told about this and I decided to do a 30-day challenge where I would take a cold shower every day for 30 days. Now I found out about the benefits of doing this on January 2nd. Now I live up in the Rocky Mountains where it snows all the time in the winter, and I got to tell you that just the thought of that was the most horrible idea I could possibly imagine. But I'd heard about all the benefits and I could see that I needed those benefits in my life. And so I started doing it. And I learned a lot of stuff about myself from doing that. And one of the things that I learned is the greatest pain that you experience in the cold shower episodes actually happens before you ever jump in. It's the pain in your mind. It's the thought of jumping in that is way more painful than actually jumping in. Because when you jump in, it is painful for maybe 5 or 7 seconds. And after that, it's not that painful anymore, actually. And your heart is going and all your blood starts going around and you feel energized and you feel actually really amazing. But the idea of jumping in there is this terrifying, horrible feeling that you have. Well, when you start to connect that it's the biggest pain that you're experiencing is in your mind, when you start thinking about, okay, I want to share my message, I want to get on stage, I want to get on camera, I have something to contribute. When you recognize that it is that fear that is keeping you from actually enjoying that, you're going to recognize that you can work your way through it. So if you start this habit of taking cold showers, you are going to start to recognize how you can step through it, how you can have courage, how you can get in there and stand up in front of the camera, stand up on the stage, and share the message that is most meaningful for you. I know it sounds like a crazy idea, but it absolutely works. I tell you, no sweat stains here. I'm happy to share the message that I have learned, and I'm happy to help you share what is inside of you. Time to broadcast your voice. What is the message inside of you that the world needs right now? If you're a heart-centered person who wants to make a difference in the world, video is the way to do it. I'm happy to help you get started. Click right here to take my Quick Start Challenge, and you can get started today.